Hey there guys, what's up and welcome back to Film Wave. The hit reality television series on History Channel, PawnStars, follows Rick Harrison and his family who run the gold and silver pawn shop in Las Vegas. Viewers have enjoyed watching the PawnStars make enormous profits. Despite the fact that they're professionals in the tricky business, the PawnStars cast got seriously scammed by customers these 5 times. Number 5, Gibson Mandolin.
What doesn't look right is there's some pitting right here. And that crack right.
Austin Lee Russell, better known by his nickname Chum Lee, is not only Corey Harrison's childhood friend, but also a popular cast member on PawnStars and has been serving as an employee at the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop. The co-owner of the shop, Rick Harrison, hired Chum Lee as an employee 5 years before the first season of the PawnStars was aired. For those who've watched the show, it's no surprise that Chum Lee isn't known as the smartest one at the store and has made huge mistakes several times. One example is when Chum Lee was handling customers all by himself and a customer offered him a Gibson Mandolin, which he claimed was an original. However, unfortunately, it was just one of the many fake ones and Chum Lee fell for that lie. Even though his buying limit was confined to $1,000, he spent $15,000 on the fake mandolin. The truth was later revealed by a music store owner who told the PawnStars employees that the mandolin was in fact worth just $100.
It's fake as hell, man. I just paid.
Number 4, Willie Mays' jersey. In 2012, when Rick was absent at the pawn store for a while, Corey and Chum Lee got into trouble when a Willie Mays' jersey was brought to the pawn shop. According to the seller, the jersey was an original one worn by the former professional baseball player Willie Mays in a game in 1961. After thoroughly checking the 2 pieces of clothing, Chum Lee pointed out that the uniform was way too clean, and if Mays had actually worn it, it would have had at least some dirt on it and wouldn't be in such a great condition. Moreover, the customer had no certificate of authentication to prove that the jersey was in fact Willie Mays's. Even then, Corey stupidly spent $31,000 on a fake product. Later, the Harrisons couldn't sell the jersey for a comparatively low price of $80,000. It was then auctioned off 2 years later for just $19,000. What a loss.
You never have to tow a car again.
It is a money-making machine.
Number 3, Hendrix Guitar. PawnStars fans are well aware of the fact that acoustic instruments, especially authentic guitars, hold remarkable value in the pawn business and are usually spotted at the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop. Other than that, it's the historic link associated with it and the originality of an antique that determines its value. The show has featured several items that are extremely expensive, only because they once belonged to a famous personality. When a customer arrived at the pawn store with a guitar from the Hendrix collection, Rick called an expert to check whether the guitar was original. Jesse Amoroso from a vintage guitar shop called Cowtown Guitars was called to the store, who confirmed that the Hendrix guitar was in fact worth $1 million. However, Rick and the seller couldn't come to an agreement because Rick wasn't willing to pay any more than $60,000. Later, the same guitar was auctioned and the buyer was surprisingly none other than Jesse himself. Even though this isn't a direct scam, viewers guess that the expert might have deliberately caused a disagreement between Rick and the seller so he could get his hands on the vintage guitar. Number 2, Wells Fargo Ball and Chain. Everyone who's watched the reality TV show knows how imperative it is to distinguish a fake item from a valuable one. Several times we've seen Rick Harrison work with skill and professionalism, which is why he's so reputable in the pawn business. However, at times, Rick has made some huge mistakes as well. In a season 5 episode, a customer arrived at the pawn store claiming to have an original Wells Fargo ball and chain. Upon the antique's evaluation, Rick and the other employees were quite impressed. Even though Rick did have a feeling that it could be fake, he could hardly find a solid proof of the ball and chain being completely unauthentic. The PawnStars ended up paying $450 for the ball and chain. Later, an expert revealed that the purchase was a mistake since the antique itself was actually fake. Before we move on to our top spot, we'd like you to do us a little favor by hitting that big juicy red subscribe button down below in the video. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on any more videos we put out on our channel. Alright, let's get to the finale, guys. Number 1, vintage car. In the pawn business, classic cars can prove to be an amazing jackpot. However, one has to be careful while selling and buying vintage cars, as hasty dealing can result in an enormous loss as well. Well, an extremely rare Austin Healey Sprite was available for purchase. Rick could hardly resist buying it. Despite the fact that the car engine wasn't working, Rick stupidly fell for the seller's excuse. Later, however, Rick realized that he got scammed when his mechanic told him that the car would need an extra $6,000 to be fixed, and Rick had already paid $5,000 for the vintage car. After watching these ugly scams, the viewers hope that the Pawn Stars will remember the lessons they learned the hard way. This brings us to the end of our video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, do let us know by hitting the like button and subscribing to our channel. Stick around for more amazing content, as we'll be seeing you in another video real soon. Until then, take care and goodbye.